What if the biggest tax cut in America's recent history wasn't really for you? Right now, Washington is buzzing about a bill with a flashy name, the One Big Beautiful Bill. It's being sold as a win for everyday Americans, especially seniors and low-income earners. But beneath that bright label hides a very different story. Let's pull back the curtain. At first glance, this bill looks like a jackpot for seniors. If you're over 65, you'd get a bigger standard deduction up to $16,000 for single filers plus an extra $6,000 deduction just for seniors with moderate incomes. Sounds great, right? Tax relief, more breathing room. But here's the catch, it's not what was promised. During the campaign, the headline promise was the full removal of taxes on Social Security benefits. That's what grabbed attention. But this is only a partial fix. Behind closed doors, things shifted. Why was that promise dropped? The truth is blunt: money. Eliminating Social Security taxes would have cost nearly $100 billion per year. Congress wasn't willing to go that far, so they scaled it back way back. Now, instead of wiping out Social Security taxes, seniors get slightly bigger deductions if they qualify. The cost, just $18 billion, far easier to pass. It's a halfway measure, a compromise that leaves many feeling shortchanged. But it doesn't stop with seniors. Students from low-income families are also quietly getting squeezed. Under this bill, the maximum Pell Grant remains the same for now, but other forms of student aid slashed. Work-study programs face deep cuts, and affordable student health insurance becomes harder to access. For students trying to be the first in their family to graduate, this isn't just a minor change, it's a brick wall. Many may need to take on more debt, work longer hours, or even delay college altogether. And these changes didn't get flashy headlines, but they hit hard. Now here's where the bill gets even harsher. Medicaid, the program millions rely on, would now require adults without kids to work at least 80 hours per month to keep their coverage, starting in 2026. Miss that, you're out. Eligibility checks move from once a year to every 6 months. A small change, not quite. It creates far more chances for people to get cut off even if they still qualify. Food aid programs like SNAP get hit too. The age for work requirements jumps from 54 to 64. And parents with kids over 6, they now have to meet work rules too. States would also be penalized for errors in their systems. Sounds like accountability, but in reality, it pressures states to cut corners, and that means fewer people get help. Food banks are already overwhelmed. If SNAP benefits shrink, those lines at food pantries, they'll grow fast. But food banks aren't designed to replace government support. They simply can't keep up. So who actually comes out ahead in this bill? At first glance, it looks like most people win an average tax cut of $2,900 by 2026. But dig deeper, and the story changes. If you're earning over $460,000 a year, your tax cut could be more than $12,000. But for those making under $35,000, you'll get around $160. That's barely enough to notice. And by 2028, many deductions like those for overtime or car loan interest disappear completely. Low and middle-income earners may actually lose more in government benefits than they gain from these modest tax cuts. According to some economic forecasts, people making under $17,000 per year could lose over $800 in annual income by 2026, mostly due to cuts in Medicaid and food aid. Meanwhile, high earners rake in five-figure tax breaks. Supporters of the bill argue it's about reducing fraud, encouraging work, and giving states more control. They say it'll create leaner, more efficient programs. Maybe that's true in some cases, but here's the hard truth: when government support shrinks, the burden doesn't disappear. It simply shifts to families, local charities, food banks, hospitals, and schools. Those already struggling are left to pick up the slack, and they have the least room to spare. Here's the part that's easy to miss: the bill isn't finalized yet. The Senate is still debating. Some lawmakers want to slash even more programs. Others are trying to restore parts like the expanded child tax credit. The fight over this bill is far from over, but its message is crystal clear. America is moving toward a new model where struggling families are asked to do even more with even less. That's why this bill matters. It's not just about taxes. It's about who we expect to carry the weight in this country. So I'll ask you, do you think this approach makes things more efficient, or does it just make life harder for those already struggling? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. If this breakdown helped you see the hidden layers inside this bill, consider subscribing. I'll keep tracking these changes, explaining what they really mean, and helping you protect your budget and your future. Thanks for spending your time here today. Stay informed, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.